Good morning, everyone. This is it, the first day that we are all back on campus, each year group at the same time. Little did I know, way back in November when I was appointed principal for this academic year, that my first moment of speaking to you all would be through a screen. I imagined that we would all be together in the main hall, the whole school in one space. Not for one moment did I envisage a situation where you would all be in your individual classrooms and I would be speaking to you virtually through a screen. Much has happened to us as individuals, as families, as a community. Much has happened to the world since November. And so here we find ourselves, all back in school at last, all back on campus at the same time, but not quite all together. And that has made me wonder, what do we even mean by that phrase, all together? One of our 5 class values is connectedness. It is one of our values because as a school we place real importance on reaching out and connecting with each other, to celebrate our individual uniqueness, but also to come together, to recognise, to cherish that we are part of a diverse and respectful community here at EP, that we belong to something very special. So what does that mean to us, for us, that we now find ourselves wearing masks and unable to see each other's smiles and those facial gestures that mean so much when we are communicating, making friends, responding to situations, that we are unable to hug, to have physical contact, that we need to stay 1 meter apart, that we find ourselves unable to come together physically as one school, as one year group even. Are we now less connected, less of a community for that? Over our 200,000 year history, humans have evolved and flourished as a species for a number of reasons. Biologically, our opposable thumbs and significant brain size have given humankind a huge evolutionary advantage. Individually, however, we are quite weak, quite vulnerable. One person cannot outrun a lion, for example. And for me, this is where humankind becomes quite interesting. The success of humans throughout history has not just relied on biology. It has relied upon our cultural evolution, specifically on us being super collaborators, on being able to come together and pool our collective knowledge, skills, and ideas. I, for example, have no idea how a mobile phone works, how I would make one, but I don't have to. This technological advancement has been pioneered by other humans with different skills and knowledge to mine, and I am able to take advantage of that. I don't grow my own food, and yet I am not hungry, as I am able to draw upon the farming and food production of complete strangers who do that for me. We all benefit from the hyper-cooperation of around 7 billion humans. We are quite unique in this respect, in being able to operate not just in family groups, but with complete strangers. We are, for example, the only species that requires help to give birth. It is such a complicated process. A baby has to turn twice whilst coming out of the pelvis, that we need other people on hand to help. We have evolved to be cooperators, to harness our collective energy to survive. Technology, communication, and travel now mean that our connectivity as humans has increasingly sped up our cultural innovation, who we are, how we think, how we act. And the evidence for this is all around us. Food, language, technology, science, artificial intelligence. All of this is shifting, changing as our ability to connect, to hyper-connect increases. And we have each evolved over the last 6 months, despite being apart. In many ways, our experience of lockdown, the impact of the pandemic, of virtual learning has brought us more together, has strengthened our connections. Teachers stepping into a digital world that is more familiar to your generation than to ours. Perhaps we understand a little more now as teachers how important that virtual world is to many of you, what it gives you. Those G-Meets were oases of warmth, of connection for all of us. We have all learned new ways of learning and teaching, of stepping up to the challenge of greater independence in learning. We have all adapted, and we have done so together. Our shared experience, our reliance upon each other has brought us closer together. So, as you put your mask on each morning and as you check that you are one arm length apart, remember that connection is so much more than our physical proximity to each other. It is how we choose to be with each other. It is how we evolve together. It is how we flourish. We connect by showing that we see value in each other, and we harness it and celebrate it. In doing our best to keep each other safe, we are living our values as a community: connectedness, kindness, respect, resilience, and integrity. Have a great week, everyone, and stay safe.